Welcome to the Family First Retirement Podcast with George Politarhos. For more information, visit betrayawealth.com. Now, let's get to the show.
What do you say we kick things off this weekend talking about income?
Happy to.
Income is the outcome that matters the most in retirement. Olivia Mitchell, a professor at the Wharton School of Business, and she was asked, what could people have done better in preparing for retirement? And she found that most adults said they wished they would have saved more. They wished they would have waited longer to take Social Security. And, George Politarhos, they said,
older people regretted not having purchased lifetime income. Lifetime income streams would come from something like an annuity, where you purchase from an insurance company a lifetime income payout that will make it much easier for you to manage your expenses. If we explain to people how long they might live, in other words, their risk of living a very long time, they were much more likely to regret not saving and not buying lifelong income payments.
Let's talk about annuities here for a second, George. Why do you think people who have an annuity, why do they love them? But, George, there are also people who are planning for retirement that are skeptical about an annuity. Why do you think that is?
I think it goes back to the misunderstanding of what an annuity is. Mm-hmm. And, you remember that commercial about the Buick? This isn't your father's Buick or your mom's Buick, Grandma. Well, this isn't your mom or dad's annuity either. The product has changed dramatically in the last 25 years. What our job is at Betraya Wealth Group, Mark, is when you retire and you're used to making X, every month you're bringing in, pick a number, folks, $10,000 a month, $8,000, whatever that number is. How are we going to replace it, right? Where's it going to come from to get this? That you can sleep at night, you know that no matter what happens, I'll be able to do everything I want to do. And annuity plays a huge part. You're going to have Social Security. Maybe, if you're one of the lucky few in this world, in this country, to have a pension, terrible word anymore, right? People don't know what it means. You work for the federal government, you have one. You're a teacher, you have one. Some private companies have them, very few. But that's going to come. And then you can use an annuity to set up that income stream that will make sure that you get to live your life the way you want to. Because you always use that stupid saying, I know, good news, bad news.
Yes, sir.
Good news is you're living longer.
All right.
The bad news is, hey, you're living longer.
Yeah.
It's a concern because we didn't plan on living 30 or 40 years in retirement. Mark, I always talk about Leslie.
The recently retired Leslie Politarhos, but now finding her next purpose, Leslie Politarhos.
Chief Cultural Officer at Betraya Wealth Group. And I say full-time, it's a day and a half a week.
Because she's retired. That's full-time when you're retired.
That's full-time.
Yeah.
But, Leslie's mom and dad, my in-laws, lived both to 95. Mm-hmm. They lived a great life. My wife is going to have another 35 years in retirement. And we have to make sure that the money stays there, that she gets to continue living her greatest life possible up to that time. And that's how annuity is going to help us fund that. Between her Social Security, between our investments, we'll have an income guaranteed to come in that Leslie's going to live to be 95. I don't care. Mm-hmm. If you're worried, folks, about do I have enough money to last, just give me a call. Let's talk, 302-330-2166. Let's have that good cup of coffee, as my mother Betty would always say, and let's take that conversation and see what we can do and be in a better place. But annuities can fund that and help you be where you need to be. And I say need, Mark, I maybe I'm different. When I'm worried about something, I don't sleep at night. Yep. I don't know about you, Mark. If I'm balled up about something, if I'm worrying about the boys or about Leslie or God forbid something in the world's going on, I don't sleep. And we have enough things to help us not sleep, I think, to be concerned about at times. I don't think your income and where's the money coming from retirement should be one of those things. And we can help you have one less thing to keep you up at night.
George, is it fair to say an annuity is essentially a pension?
Absolutely. And it fills such a big void because your pension is a guaranteed income stream. Social Security is an annuity. Mm-hmm. A pension is an annuity. Because when you retire as a federal employee, for example, we do a tremendous amount of business with our federal employees out there. They say they're getting a pension. The government does not refer to those people as retirees. They refer to them as annuitants because they are receiving an annuity payment for the rest of their lives. So it is. And here's another thing. We talk about Social Security. We talk about income streams. How many of these young people, and I'm saying young, 50 and younger, are not going to have a pension? You need to have other instruments involved in that to help get that pension. I'm using air quotation, folks. I know it's stupid. You're on the radio. Air quotation, to get an income stream by using life insurance and index universal life, a whole life product, to set up that other income stream. But annuities are first and foremost. We can do it. Give us a call, 302-330-2166, or go to Portrea Wealth, P-A-T-R-I-A wealth.com, and let's have that conversation. If you don't talk about it, if you don't educate yourself, how the heck do you know what it is?
That's right.
You have to figure it out, and let me help you answer those questions. Pull back the curtains and see what it's really all about.
Again, that number, 302-330-2166. George, you're talking about your bride, Leslie, and her next chapter. Well, how about Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr.? I don't know if you saw this, but he hung up his baseball cleats back in 2010. And you would think he's just fishing or playing golf or spending time with the family. Not so fast. Now he's a photographer for the MLB. He was at the All-Star game taking pictures as a credentialed, not as Ken Griffey Jr., the former baseball player, as a credentialed media member taking pictures at the All-Star game.
It was actually the only way I could see my kids. They were like, oh, Ken's here. And I was like, okay, I've got to pay more attention to what's going on. And I figured nobody's messing with the photographer. Well, let me pick it up. Let me try it. And I got a couple photographer friends who sent me a couple cameras and lenses and said, here you go. And didn't tell me anything about it. Just don't put it on auto.
And now he's become this.
That's amazing.
And he's actually, I saw some of his pictures from the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby. Fantastic photographer as well. So he kind of found his next chapter, if you will. That's something that you do every single day. And you don't have to be a multimillionaire, an incredible baseball icon like Ken Griffey Jr. You help retirees and pre-retirees every single day find out what's going to be next for them to and through retirement, and to make sure they have enough money to last as long as they do.
Absolutely. When we talk about getting close to retirement, in retirement, I go back to what are your dreams, wants, and desires? Because you have to have a reason to get out of bed, don't you? Mm-hmm. You start retirement. And I'm going to use Leslie because she is recently retired.
Right.
As we're saying, whatever it is now, 2 months, give or take. And for the first few weeks, folks, she had a hard time of it because we're animals of habit. I'm used to doing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Now I get a different atmosphere. And it took her a couple weeks to get into her swing and to start her new routine, doing things she loves.
I see what you did there, the baseball analogy, the swing. Huh?
You like that, hey?
Huh? Well done,
I'm not even a baseball fan, hey. But it helps with this transition for her. I talked to you last week about how with Leslie being retired, it's kind of taken me off my routine, routine. There's certain things I really enjoy to do. A lot of things I don't like to do around the house, I'll be honest with you. But I love to vacuum. And my job on Saturdays, Leslie vacuumed every 3 days a week when she was working. And I love to vacuum on Saturday because I get to see, I love it because it has a canister, right? And you vacuum. We have 3 dogs. We have 3 big dogs.
What I hear is we got a lot of fur.
Capone. Oh, we got a lot of fur, yeah. And Winnie, they are a mess. And I vacuum on Saturday, and I'm like, this is great. You see something accomplished. Now I vacuum on Saturday, and it's like air. Nothing happened. I go, what the heck? She goes, well, I vacuumed before I got home last night, so there's nothing really there to pick. It just for the family, too. The couple. If you're married, it's a new life for me. I'm still working. But she's changed my life. And that's what's so important. You have to visualize what you want to do. You work for 90,000 hours, folks, in a career. Now's the job to have an idea what the next 90,000 hours are going to look like. Is it going to be working around the house? Our gardens look fantastic. Leslie's doing a great job. Is it working with charities? Kind of like what our golf outing is going to be about.
Yes,
helping
sir.
the veterans in our country. Or is it about, doing things you love, spending more time with your grandson? Leslie's getting to see Archer during the week now, just not on weekends and on FaceTime. It's about that, reconnecting, doing new things, horseback riding. You have to have a goal.
Let me ask you a question. Can I get personal with you here for a second, George Politarhos? Because we talk every week here on Family First Retirement. Again, that number, 302-330-2166, PortreaWealth.com, P-A-T-R-I-A Wealth.com. We talk every week about helping retirees and pre-retirees find purpose. What's next? What about for the adults where the spouse is retired, but the husband or wife are still working? Do you find it's challenging for that half of the marriage or the relationship?
It adds a different layer to the relationship. I think that's the best way. I mean, Mark, I'm going on 33 years being married to the greatest person in the world, in my opinion. It adds a different layer to our relationship and how things are working. I think that goes back to needing a really good partner to be with. Leslie now is going home to visit her sisters in Syracuse. I would usually go with her on the weekends, but now she's going to go home during the week. So it adds different things to do. I love it that she's retired. Yeah. I don't know how to say this the right way, but I would look at her and I say, what's your plan? She goes, I am going to do, and to see the little kid come out of her. Yeah. Because she's going to take horseback riding lessons. Or that look of just pure happiness. And she was always a happy woman. That's the best part about this. It's just gotten to be 20 times happier that she's doing what she wants. But it changes for us still working. I was going to say siblings. We're not in Tennessee. Sorry. So let's say spouses. Right. That this is what we're doing. And that's what we should be all about. Now, when I do retire in 10 years or 15 years, we'll be able to do things together. But why don't you give me a call, 302-330-2166, and we'll work through this, how we're going to do it together, how you're going to do. How's it going to change both lives when one retires? Here's a first-person example of how it affects us.
You're living it.
Yeah, every day, which is a great thing. 302-330-2166.
George, a lot of conversations this weekend here on Family First Retirement about finding your purpose in retirement, about making sure you have enough income that lasts as long as you do. But what about to those adults, those retirees that I love my hometown, but I think it's time to go retire somewhere else? What do you tell those adults in retirement if they want to retire somewhere other than where they've spent the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years?
Leslie and I like to take long weekends. Try a Thursday night to a Sunday and go to different towns throughout the country. We try and do it 2 or 3 times a year. And it's great. We're like, oh my gosh, we're in Charleston. And I love Charleston for 3 days. Would I like Charleston for a lifetime? I think it's important, and not just a long weekend. You have to go and think about the factors. First off, taxes, cost of living, weather, the heat. Go there. I think it's always a good idea to go rent someplace for a short-term rent. Take 2 months and see if you like the area that much. If you're moving closer to the kids, to me, it's a no-brainer, personally. If my boys moved away, as soon as I retired, we'd be moving near our boys. Right. To be quite honest with you. But it's about making sure you make the right choice. You know, my son Jared just relocated to Florida. And Jared's an awesome young man. I miss him tremendously. He still works for the family, obviously, because most of his job he can do remotely in today's world. But it's hard not seeing him every day, right? Sure. But he's having the reality check about how the cost of living in southern Florida is different than Wilmington, Delaware. Yep. And that's what this is about. His check's bigger, right? He goes, I have less taxes. Yeah. But holy cow, my smoothie that I used to get for $4 is now $10. Yep. So those are the things you have to think about. You know, don't do anything rash. And we have a client right now, Brittany and Bob from New Jersey, who just retired, and they're thinking about relocating. And they're the ones that said, I'm going to go and rent something for a quarter at a time. We're going to go to South Carolina and rent this for 3 months to see how it is. And then we'll go to the 3 cities they like, and they're going to rent there. They're going to sell their home and see where we feel the most comfortable at. Because you're making a big commitment to sit there and sell your home here and buy a new house down there. I think it's this opportunity to take your time and make some relax. Because guess what? You're retired. You have no place to go. Go ride the horse. Relax and make a smart decision. We'll help you make those choices. Give us a call, 302-330-2166. And let's see how we can come up with a plan about doing it the right way the first time.
It may be relocating after the kids get out of college or the kids get married, or you just realize once I retire, my spouse retires, we're going to shut it down and take it down to a warmer climate. That's perfectly acceptable. And the team at the Betrayal Wealth Group, they're going to be there with you. From the day you make the decision to when the moving truck comes to when you get settled, they will be there with you from day one until the very end. This isn't one of those, all right, good luck in Florida. All right, good luck in South Carolina. Have fun in Texas. Call us if you need us. Nope, you're still part of the family. That's why Betray in Greek, it means family. Patria. PatriaWealth.com to meet the team, and you can schedule that consultation from the homepage. Again, 302-330-2166. 2166 or online at PetraeaWealth.com. And George, some sad news out of Nashville last week.
Don't touch me if you don't love me, sweetheart.
Country music icon Jeannie Seely passing away at the age of 85.
Yep. What a good woman.
Sweetheart of a lady. Maybe to, people maybe under the age of 45, 40, you may not have ever heard her name. You may Jeannie Seely, I don't know. But she was so instrumental in opening the door for female country artists.
Yep.
With over 5,300 appearances at the Grand Ole Opry. She holds a record.
Oh, my God.
All right.
When we met her, she was proud of that number.
Yes, she was.
It was amazing, amazing feat.
Yep. And, George, we did. We had the opportunity to go meet Jeannie Seely and a bunch of country music icons at Nashville. This was about a year and a half ago, and this was a part of a very exclusive roundtable with George and myself and a couple of us just sitting here hearing Jeannie Seely just talk about life and the world that she lived in country music. And here she is talking about how time just goes by so fast.
They say time goes fast when you're having a great time, and I have had such a wonderful ride. I mean, I hope it doesn't end tomorrow, but if it does, I've had such a wonderful ride here. And it's just a joy to know that this show continues. And it's taken a lot of work, a lot of people, the management people, the office people, tech people keeping everything updated, and also for the artists like Bill Anderson and me, who made those commitments when we had to be here so many times. And I remember running hard all night to get from a Saturday night gig to get here in time to do a Sunday matinee.
She's saying what we preach every week, George. Yeah. Time goes by so fast.
It's amazing, isn't it? Have you ever heard anyone say, I wish I had worked longer?
No.
Harder? No. She had those memories. And what was really nice about it is I think you see so much from people when you actually get a chance to sit across from them and to see her eyes glisten when she's talking about those memories, about how she, the way she affected so many people, the story she had. She was just a classy lady and someone that the country music and Grand Ole Opry is going to miss terribly.
Yep. Boy, think about it.
It's a shame.
I think the tribute for her next year at the Opry is going to be pretty impressive. We might have to make a trip back down to Nashville just to go check that one out, George.
That's right.
Let me borrow your credit card. I'll start booking that right now. Hey, 302-330-2166. Jeannie Seely left a legacy on country music. What is your legacy? Let's sit down with George and the team and begin creating that plan. It's the Family First Retirement Plan. And this weekend, if you've saved at least $250,000 or more for your financial future, it's no cost. It's no obligation. Again, that number you can call right now. We have a representative standing by. 302-330-2166 or online at PetraeaWealth.com, P-A-T-R-I-A Wealth.com. And George, before we get out of here, I want you to hear one more clip from Jeannie Seely talking about the importance of surrounding yourself with people you trust.
Through the years, if something happened, you got girlfriends there that have got everything from reminding you the lyrics or having a safety pin, whatever. And, of course, the guys are always there for you. The band members as well as the other artists, they're there. I can't tell you how many times my bass player, Danny Davis, has fed me the lyrics when I drew a blank. To be a part of this is just absolutely the most important thing in my life, I guess, other than my, of course, personal family. But this family is it just means everything.
Don't touch me if you don't.
It's all about surrounding yourself with people you trust, and that's why the initial consultation with George Politarhos and the team at the Betrayal Wealth Group, that initial conversation's no cost, no obligation. Get to know the team because George is going to be with you from that very first meeting until the very end. We invite you to call this weekend at 302-330-2166. We have a representative standing by. Are always available online at PetraeaWealth.com. And to the great Jeannie Seely, thank you for all the great memories in Nashville. Insurance and annuities offered through George A. Politarhos, Delaware Insurance License Number 1373121. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties.